This is how I set up my S24 Ultra so it doesn't ruin my life. Today, I've distilled for you the best phone setup and general productivity tips I've found that brought me from mindlessly scrolling 8+ hours daily to intentionally spending about 2 hours each day on my phone. To start, the best thing you can do to use your phone less is not have 6 different focus modes and 14 productivity apps, but to simply keep your phone away from you. Luckily for me, I'm very lazy and easy to trick, so all I have to do is put my phone in a random place in my office, and I'll probably either forget where I put it or realize while trying to build up the energy to get up that I don't actually need it. That said, there are a few settings I've enabled that have made the times I do use my phone much more effective. The first setting I changed the moment I set up a new phone is disabling almost all notifications. The only apps I leave on are those that I actually need to see, like phone, calendar, and sometimes messages. Everything else to me is just a distraction and clutters up my notifications. Most importantly, I disabled all emails, which for a while I held off on, but nothing is ever that urgent that I can't wait till later when I can read them all at once. There's been too many times that responding to one quick email turned into 20 or 30 minutes and completely broke me out of whatever I was working on. For all the notifications that I do leave on, aside from like my calendar, they're all silenced throughout the majority of the day with Do Not Disturb. This is because while I'm working, I don't want to be interrupted by anyone, and if there's ever an actual emergency, anyone can get through just by calling twice. Using Do Not Disturb constantly is probably the best change I've ever made, as it alone reduces the amount of times I pick up my phone throughout the day. I know that some people will build out different workflows depending on the focus mode you have enabled, but with how I set up my home screen, I find that that's pretty unnecessary. I keep everything but the bare essentials on my home screen so that all I can see are the apps that I actually mean to use. In my opinion, having a clean home screen, but also phone in general, is the foundation for building a productive environment. Because of this, I try to delete as many apps on my phone as possible, and a good rule of thumb I've started to use is if I haven't used an app in more than about 2 weeks, I'll delete it. A lot of apps are fine on the web, but even those that aren't, taking a minute to re-download it is worth the trade-off for just how much cleaner your phone will be. Now, in just the past couple of weeks, I've completely deleted all social media off of my phone because even having it hidden away, I still found myself sitting on the toilet wondering how the hell I got there. For me, I see my phone as more of a utility device, so I don't want any sort of digital entertainment on it. The only app I really have is YouTube, but the vast majority of what I watch on there is more educational stuff, interviews, podcasts, etc. that actually I listen to more than anything. I'll have an average an hour or 2 of screen time on YouTube each day, but this is solely from driving and being at the gym. Because of this, YouTube Premium is probably the best 15 or something bucks I spend a month because I can listen to whatever content I want in the background without ads. Another app I swear by is Audible. I pay something like 20 bucks a month for 2 credits, but in addition to this, they have a massive library of books included in the subscription that are actually really good. Over the last few months, I've been surprised that about a quarter of the time I get a recommendation, it's been on here. Now, I still have Spotify for those times that I don't really feel like listening to anything besides music. Most of the time, this is when I just need to get hyped up for a few minutes when I get to the gym. For those times, I use Heavy to track my workouts and get back to any messages on Beeper. What I really like about Beeper is it's an all-in-one messaging app that lets you connect WhatsApp, Google Messages, Instagram DMs, and several other services so that everything is in one place and I don't need to keep around Instagram especially. For any quick notes, I use Obsidian mostly because it syncs up with my Mac, and then any reminders I throw into Superlist. MyFitnessPal is an app I use for tracking calories. This is a very tedious thing to do, but having it on the home screen makes it easier to stick with. All that I've left for apps is the Kindle app, Chrome, and the camera, and then just a few widgets for the weather, quickly setting an alarm, seeing my calendar events, and toggling Audible. Now, my favorite way to start the day is by making a cup of coffee, as this wakes me up and keeps me focused throughout the morning. A few weeks ago, I got in this gorgeous XBloom studio, and having it at the corner of my desk has been great. XBloom is sponsoring today's video, but even before they reached out, I was really excited about this machine. I love having this here so that I can make a cup of coffee while I'm working and then get right back into it. There's 3 modes for brewing that XBloom offer, the first being Autopilot, which uses their pre-made X-Pods. These are available for purchase on their website and are the easiest way to try a wide variety of different coffee beans. With this, you can can pour the beans into the machine's built-in grinder and scan the included recipe card to instantly begin the grinding and brewing process. When I'm programming, drinking coffee helps to keep me relaxed and focused while I figure out where the hell the bugs are in my code, so the last thing I want to do is spend tons of times getting up to make a cup of coffee. The second mode is Copilot, which allows you to use any coffee beans you'd like with the Omni Dripper and set custom settings each time. I mainly do this through the app as it's a lot quicker to do so, but you can also use the knobs on the machine to manually set some of the settings. The last mode is Free Solo mode that gives you independent control of the entire machine, letting you experiment with varying coffee brewing styles or make tea. I've loved having the X-Bloom Studio in the office as it takes me less than 3 minutes to brew up a new cup of coffee, which is perfect if you're someone who's as busy as I am or just wants to easily make specialty coffee in their home. Now, cleaning up my home screen had a significant impact on my productivity, but an even more drastic solution is turning your phone into a light phone. Using Launcher on Android or the app Blank Spaces on iOS removes all of your app icons, only showing you text for the limited amount of apps you can keep visible. Having these overlaid on a clean wallpaper like this gradient one helps to keep my phone simple and less distracting. By the way, if you want this one, the link is in the description. There's a maximum of 8 links you can create, which forces me to choose the absolute essentials, and the fact that there aren't any icons or notification badges makes my phone less distracting to use. Next isn't a setting on your phone, but a habit I've picked up that has drastically improved my focus throughout the day. This is using a calendar religiously and scheduling everything I'm going to do from the moment I wake up till I go to bed. Most people would say this is overkill, but this forces you to realize just how much time you're wasting and really be intentional what you're actually spending it on. Whenever I don't do this, my days slip away and I find that I can spend hours on just random shit that doesn't matter. This has been the single habit that keeps me productive because at all times I know what I need to be doing, which makes it a lot less likely I'll start scrolling on my phone. If you're a Mac user who found this helpful, watch this video next where I go over how I stay productive on my Mac so it doesn't ruin my life. Take care.